My name is Jacob James Nama, also known as King James, but you can call me James. James is fine. I do quite a lot of things, but I think I'd say the end goal for me would be to be, I'm not sure there's a term for it just yet. I do a lot of things with media, social media, but media at large. I think goals for me would be to be able to promote truth or tell truth in every form of creative expression that there is. So whether it's music, whether it's film, whether it's photography, whether it's videography, whatever it is, but all things media, I want to promote and teach truth. I'm going to share, I think I'll call it my salvation story. I think that's what people typically call it. I think I'd like to share it because I think it's a good way to summarize who I am and also what God is to me, who He is to me, and I know that in my story you can learn quite a lot, not just about me, but about God and how I view God and who He is to me, I guess. So my salvation story, I usually always start it by saying I've always known of God. I've always known about Him. I grew up in a Christian home, so my parents introduced Him to me quite early. And when they did, it wasn't this thing where my experience wasn't one where I'd say I used to go to church because my parents forced me to go to church. No, immediately I was introduced to the concept of God, I kind of knew that this was it. Like I kind of instinctively knew that there was anything else that was presented to me was not it. This God thing, this God concept, this God thing is it. And I knew this from a very, very young age. Fast forward to secondary school, I was that guy, just want to like just 3. I was that guy you call pastor. People used to call me pastor. I was so young, I was so small, but I don't know why. And even at the time, I didn't know why people used to call me that. It was very weird, but I didn't mind. So people used to call me that a lot. For some reason, I used to read my Bible a lot as a young boy. Like I said, this is not something that you can, at least in my experience, I wasn't forced to do it. I just did it because I knew that this was it. By the time I got to like SS1, I was like, you know what, I've been on this God thing for a while, but I'm going to explore the world. I'm going to see what is inside this world. All these guys that I'm seeing, I'm looking up to some guys in SS3 and, guys that seem cool and all of that. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to explore life. I'm going to just do whatever I want to do, basically be the Lord of my life. So from like SS1 till my final year of uni, this was me. I don't have a lot of vices. Woman, that's my only problem. It's the only thing that really concerns me. So but even at that, I still kind of was a principled person, I guess, because of my upbringing. So I just entertained a few relationships that I now know that I had no business entertaining really. But that was me for a while. That's from like my SS1 to my final year of uni. I was just doing whatever I really wanted to do. I wasn't really on the God thing again. And that was me for that period in time. Then when I graduated from uni, I went to Covenant University. When I graduated from Covenant University, I traveled to do my master's. And this was where I would say like life kind of started for me proper. So I traveled to do my master's. This was like 2016. So 2017, that's when I would say like my journey with God started again. So, people travel for their masters, that's when people go and spoil, that's when people go and do whatever they want to do really. But for me, that was where I met God. Or met God again. So when I traveled, I met this group of people that eventually became my friends, and they were people that just were so on this God thing. Like our bond, or their bond at the time, was literally God. Like He was the reason for their friendship. It was so strange. It wasn't anything I'd seen before, but it intrigued me, and I wanted that. So I became friends with them. But because of how I had been so remember, I started out life knowing that God was it. So I was well acquainted with a good amount of knowledge of God. So I'd read my Bible a lot as a young boy. So if I was having conversations with Christians, I could have those conversations for hours, and I did enjoy them. But if I was also having conversations about babes or this or that, I could have those conversations as well. So at that time, I found that I was torn between two worlds, basically. I had this group of Christian friends that I genuinely loved, and I really, really wanted to be like. I wanted them to be my family. But I also had this set of friends that wanted nothing to do with this life or this lifestyle. So I found myself torn between these two worlds. And then it got to a point where, literally from when I got to, because I did my master's in Scotland. So when I got there, God was constantly on my case, telling me you're lukewarm. I could see lukewarmness in anything. Like, I can buy a cold drink, I'm joking, but I can buy a cold drink and it's probably be lukewarm. But pretty much, point is, God kept on reminding me, telling me in multiple ways, you're lukewarm, you're lukewarm, you're lukewarm. And I literally kept hearing that until I surrendered to God. So I joined a small church at the time. I was playing the piano for them in the church. But like I said, torn between two different kinds of friends, two different worlds. But it got to a point where, alone in my room, I was like, it was 2017, early 2017, alone in my room, I closed my eyes, I prayed, I wept, I told God, look, you know what? I've always known it's you. I just said, let me, see what's in this life. And to be honest, since I was a small boy, I knew that there was nothing. I knew that the world didn't have anything to offer me. I've watched people that seem like they have everything, seem like they have themselves put together, but they are just as lost as I have been, and I'm coming back. And literally, no altar call, nothing. I prayed this alone in my room. I played my keyboard, sang some songs to God, and I gave Him my life. That same year was the year I opened Instagram. I joined Instagram. So I always knew about Instagram. I'd known about it since I was in uni, but I intentionally refused to join. I remember a friend of mine told me, Jacob, you should join Instagram. It's popping, it's live, it's this and that. And I literally told him that I didn't want to join, and I would join when I didn't want to join because I wanted to use it for something impactful. That's what I told him. I wasn't going to join until I had something that I knew was impactful to give, to share. And literally that's what I do with my Instagram. So the second I gave my life to Christ, 2017, I opened an account and started posting videos, and here we are. So that I would say is my salvation story. My favorite Bible verse would be, so I've had a few over the years. Ecclesiastes 10:10 is one that I quote all the time, so it's kind of like a favorite for me. The B part of it is my favorite part of it. It says wisdom is profitable to direct, but the A part says that if an axe is dull, I'm paraphrasing, if the axe is dull and a man does not sharpen it, he requires more strength, but wisdom is profitable to direct. So in life, I've just used that to kind of tell me that in any situation I am in, this thing where Christians feel like you need to hear from God before you can do a thing. Wisdom is profitable to direct. If I was going to advise anybody, I'd tell them wisdom is profitable to direct. You can use wisdom to move. You can ask wisdom, and wisdom will lead you in how to address any situation, really, even if you feel like you're not hearing directly from God. So that's one. But another one is Proverbs, I believe 3, verse 5 to 7, or Proverbs 3 and 4. The one that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He'll direct your path. The advice I'd give to the next generation would be what I used to start my salvation story. God is it. We're all looking for something. We're all looking for answers to the most fundamental questions in this world. Where did we come from? Where are we going? Why am I here? These are the deepest questions that any human being can ask. The questions about purpose, what and meaning. Like you want your life to have some kind of meaning, and God is it. God is where we find our identity. God is where we find purpose. God is where we find meaning. We really can't. At best, what human beings can do is learn by observation. We came and we met ourselves in this world. They told us that this is our family and we have to love them for some reason. You came and saw trees and apparently there's food. And all we can do as human beings that came into the world and met these concepts is learn by observation. But these things have meaning. They have purpose. There's a reason that all these things are here. There's order in the world. There are laws that govern the world. It's not chance. And there is a wisdom to the world. There is intention to the world, and all of that says that there's a personality that made the world, and made you as well, because you are a very intentional being. There's nothing about you that is a mistake. You get hungry, there's food. You need sleep, there's sleep. You get tired, there's sleep. So God was very intentional about you as well, and in your search for meaning, I promise you, this will cut your search short. God is what you're looking for. So yeah, that'll be my advice. What song best sums me up? I think the song that comes to mind is I don't know if you guys know Women of Faith. This song, Above All. Crucified, I didn't plan to sing. But laid behind the stone, you lived to die, rejected and alone, like a rose. Trampled on the ground, you took the fall and thought of me above all. That's literally my life. So my life is just a response to everything that God has done for me, honestly speaking. And that's what I think life really is. Like when you find God and when you realize what He did for you in a real sense, like it's no longer just a story, it's what you believe life is about. The rest of your life is just living in response to that. So yeah, I think that song, Above All.